Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. This is instant match reaction. We're live straight away. We want to know how you feel after the game. The result was Everton 1, Arsenal 1. And often we all have different opinions. We don't argue everyone. We just like to hear everyone's opinions. And we'll put them together in a hat and see what we come up with this game. We'll break it down. We'll start from bits at the first half, bits at the second half. We'll go through it. We want your match reactions, so do get involved in the comments. We want to know how all Evertonians feel after the game. I'll start with you, Paul, and then I'll jump on you. Rob, back on the show as well. Cracking to have you on. I like the hairstyle as well.
Beardy Rob.
Yeah. Whoa.
Look, thanks for having me back. It genuinely feels like I haven't spoke to you since last season, but I think there's a famous Willy Wonka quote: "So much to do, so little time to do it." So it's been very busy lately. So yeah, I'm back on because I've got a free half an hour. That's why I'm here.
It's good to see you, mate. Yeah, good to see
you. We will snap you up on that free half hour. No baby yet.
18th, Good Friday. Good Friday. I mean, it might be a bad Friday, who knows, but it's meant to be Good Friday. So that's when we're booked in for. So I've got less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks yesterday. So yeah.
2 weeks until we get a new.
There might be a little fella here on my arm with a bottle or something, but we'll worry about that when it happens.
New little Toffee arrival in 2 weeks, people. They just keep coming. We can't. They're growing. The Toffee fan base, the little Toffies. So what we'll do is we'll chuck it on you, Paul, first, and then we'll get a bit of reaction off you, Rob, and then we'll break parts of the game, and we'll put the comments on the screen as we go. So, Paul, how you feeling after that?
Yeah, reflective, not overly disappointed. I didn't think we played great. I think Arsenal played well in keeping the ball. Arsenal's season pretty much has been being able to get lots of possession, create a few chances, but maybe not finishing them as often as they would like. And I think we defended well enough to stop them. A few silly mistakes, obviously leading up to the goal as well. But neither of them communicated with the other. You know, you'd think Branthwaite would still go forward and try and get it. He obviously hesitated. Garnegay didn't say anything. And then they break from that. But even then, I did feel as though O'Brien got back quick enough and should have, It's easy to say it, isn't it? It's harder to do it. But we had enough people back to actually stop that from being a goal. So that was frustrating because it felt like a soft goal to give away. Draw was probably a fair result, I think. Arsenal will probably say they should have won it. I think we defended well enough to get the point.
Yeah, I'll chuck it on you, Rob. Your thoughts on the game? Because I know some people will be happy with it. Some people might be frustrated with it. Because as you said, Paul, some parts were frustrating. But then it's against Arsenal. Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I've been a little bit disappointed with Everton the last two games. I thought the first half against Liverpool, we were quite good. I was actually texting a mate of mine who's a Liverpool fan, and I was saying, you lads are here for the taking here. And then the second half, we didn't lay a glove on them. We were really bad. And I almost feel like we started this game the way we ended that game. I thought the first half of today was really poor. And the fact that we went in 1-0 down, you're almost going, okay, it could have been a lot worse. Even without Arsenal creating a lot, they just had so much of the ball. The second half, once we scored, we came out like thunder. We were, penalty within a minute, 1-1. And all of a sudden you're thinking, right, come on, And I thought they were there for the taking second half. But look, on reflection, I'm not going to say we deserve to win. I think a draw probably was fair, but certainly a game of two halves. You could probably say that for the last couple of games, actually. But as well, they look like there were a lot of tired legs, like Enjoy was, cramp at the end. A lot of tired lads who've given a lot the last few weeks to make sure that we're playing Premier League football next year. So, look, I'm not upset. It's beautiful weather here in Dublin, Ireland. It's, 3 o'clock and Everton haven't lost. And I'm happy out, to be honest with you. So, yeah, no complaints from me, really.
I mean, I'll jump on it as well. I think I don't like this mentality of like where because you're against Arsenal, you just think to yourself, we was against a team that's second in the league, and we can accept that we wasn't that good. And I don't like that because I honestly do believe that today Arsenal wasn't good. Like they was there for the taking. They didn't have Saka. They didn't start with Odegaard, which was massive, and they had a few players out. They wasn't a strong team, and the guy on the pre-match said that. He said it's no better time to play Arsenal. And watching us first off, they was there for the taking, and we'll go through different players, but I'll just point this player out straight away. I thought Beto would add them in big trouble a lot. You know, Beto is, I've started to fall in love with him. Paul might disagree with me on this one, but honestly, he's Beto really just like will knock a ball that looks nothing, and Beto will end up through on goal. He'll find a way to get himself in on goal, and I felt sorry for Beto because he looked like he was ready to cause some damage against Arsenal today, but everyone else behind him didn't look like there was as up for it as him. And I just wish there was. We livened up after they scored, but the goal that they scored, I mean, Gay's been absolutely fantastic. So I can't really say much on him. No player is beyond criticism because they've played well week in, week out for the past bloody 2 months. But I don't know whose fault it is. I mean, let's talk about that one. I mean, Paul touched on it. Is it Branthwaite's fault for doing this? What me and Paul have been talking about over the last couple of weeks, coming forward. Which sometimes, when Branthwaite comes forward, sometimes it's good because he's like Stones. He pushes you up the pitch. But then sometimes when he comes forward, it can be dangerous. And this was one of those situations where Branthwaite's come forward. Where if he didn't come forward, it would be a Garnegay knock into his feet, move on, no danger whatsoever. So. Rob, I'll put it on you first, then send it back to Paul. Whose fault was it?
It's Branthwaite's fault. It's 100% Branthwaite's fault. I try to articulate the best way I can. If the ball is underneath Ghana's head and it's in front of Branthwaite, he's got to be the one to say, out of the way, I'm taking it. Like, what's Ghana to do? If he doesn't get a shout and the ball's on top of him, he's got to do something. Branthwaite doesn't open his mouth. It's his fault. Easy as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, Paul, was you basically implying it's Branthwaite's fault or Garnegay?
Well, there's three kind of defensive misdemeanors. One's Garnegay going for it when he's running sort of towards Branthwaite. He should be expecting Branthwaite to actually, because he's, like Rob said, it's coming down onto him. So he's at fault. Branthwaite's at fault for not ignoring that and still going forward. He would have jumped over Garnegay, no problem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then O'Brien. I thought O'Brien did really well to get back around goal side of Trossard, but maybe then he was a little bit too far away to allow Trossard to actually get a shot off. So there was a few people who could have done better in that situation. It was just frustrating because it felt soft.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that we got back on it, you know.
Yeah,
it
yeah. There's nothing worse than when a mistake happens at the halfway line. There's still so much time to break it up, and there was still a lot to do. There was so much to do, and nobody got near them, you know.
I think even after this is not us jumping on players. This is just calling out mistakes and telling players to just improve because we know they're all good and we're behind them 110%. But at the end of the day, our standards higher now. I don't want to be that Sean Dyche team or a relegation team anymore. I think if we are to become a good outfit next season and push up that table, we've got to take things seriously. And I think a bar's been set under David Moyes where we should be a lot better than what we've been today. And there's just a lot of little things that we'll probably go over. But on the goal for me, like you said, Branthwaite's fault. He should have just let Garnegay deal with it, backed off and helped him if he needed to. But even after that, it's slow motion, isn't it? Because you see him Branthwaite run back and Branthwaite's not even running back at full speed because he's thinking to himself, there's still two defenders there and they should be able to deal with this, a 2-on-2. So Branthwaite's just cruising, seeing what's happening where sometimes he'll go in and stop it because he's made the mistake, but he didn't. He trusted that O'Brien probably could block the shot and O'Brien didn't block the shot either. It was just really poor, wasn't it? All over. It could have been stopped even after the brutal mistake of Garnegay and Branthwaite, but instead O'Brien got involved and was a little bit poor there. I don't know whether you agree on that.
It only that was one of the very few times that they caught. It wasn't even a break as such. Do you know what I mean? It
It
came
was
of
a
our own
turnover,
volition.
really, wasn't
So,
it? It was a turnover
yeah. So
possession.
I mean, all
Yeah.
the other chances, half chances they kind of had, we were well in our shape and everything else, and we stifled them most of the time on either wing. There was a couple of times on our right hand side that Martinelli came on in his class, I think.
Yeah.
And they created one or two half chances from that. But the goal was the only one I can remember where we were caught on the hop a little bit, and it ended up being decisive. Well, I say decisive. Obviously, got back into it, but we defended well apart from that. So you kind of keep going back to that, don't you? It's just frustrating. But if we weren't like that, then our standards wouldn't be high enough, and we'd be just happy languishing. And we're not like that. We're not like that.
What did you think? I mean, and this is backtracking a little bit, but what did you think on the starting lineup?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting, because I mean, we spoke about it last night, and the fact that it's not just when we do lineups, it's not just the kind of Alcaraz Decore debate now, because we've got some players coming back. Illiman's back, but maybe not fully fit, so do you start him? We mentioned lots of people were giving James Garner a bit of a hard time and saying that Tim should come in, and it happened, It actually happened. So, but then lots of people are saying that Tim wasn't very good either. So, you can't win sometimes. I think Garner Gay was good. I'm glad he kept his place. Patterson being left back was interesting. You would have thought Ashley Young would have got a nod on the left hand side over Nathan. So it's good. It's good to see that Moyes is using a few people. He didn't have to. He didn't have to play Patterson. He didn't have to play Robinham. So it's good to think that he's actually having a look at players instead of just keeping that same 11 all the time.
What was your thoughts on the lineup, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of these people who particularly sees the lineup and gets excited or unexcited. What I always look for is it different than the week before? I hate seeing the same 11 every week. It drives me insane because it tells you that there's no plan B. Now, I thought maybe Alcaraz should have played today instead of on Wednesday. There were a couple of little things. Like, I think starting him at Anfield, I think is a brave move. And again, I'm not against brave moves. We had a manager who wouldn't, he doesn't know the meaning of the word brave move. So I'm glad to see those types of things. But maybe he would have been better suited started today instead of them. But, Patterson left back, if you'd have asked me last night, I'd have said no chance. And he played. But I wasn't upset about the fact he played. You know what? I like the fact that we've had 2 matches in 3 or 4 days, and the 11s were basically completely different. So yeah, I mean, what would you have really changed? McNeil's not fit. It was Irabunum or it was James Garner. So Garner got his chance on Wednesday, didn't particularly do anything, and he gets dropped today. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think competition is a good thing, and I'm happy to see the 11 change week on week, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, the two that you touched on it then, the two surprises was Patterson and Irabunum. Before we move on to our goal, we'll talk about those two players because I think it's massive that they was the big moves that Moyes have made, the different moves. How do you think they played? Like Patterson, first of all, what did you? I thought he was decent on T. Patterson today. He's better on his opposite side.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did all right. You can tell though when it's not balanced. There was a few times that he'd received the ball, and if obviously it was Mikalenko, I think he would have done a touch and put the cross in. But not as confident in putting that left-footed cross in. He'd then come back inside and lay it off to someone else. So balance is a bonus for us. If Mikalenko's not playing, and he did have a go, left-footed cross, but it went out of play. So he didn't try it again after that. So you can see the differences, but he didn't do a bad job for what he was doing.
He was on the hunt really quick. What I liked about him is he was. Do you know when you need to close a player down, he was up a player's arse really quick, and I like that. He wanted to press, and he was on the hunt. And I did like that sometimes Patterson would obviously he's going to put it on his right foot and do the in-swinger. And sometimes what we struggle with as left back is players turn in. And when they turn in, obviously if you're a left back, it's on your weaker side. But when they turn in on Patterson, it's onto his right foot. So there was little ways that it helped Patterson. I think he had a good game. Irabun and Rob?
Oh yeah, sorry, my wife just walked in while I'm in the middle of an Everton.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Are you well?
Hiya.
Irabunum, yeah, I mean, look, Irabunum and Patterson, what they do is when you see the team sheet, is right, we're going to have a go today. That's the first thing I thought. Regardless of how they play, you see the names and you go, oh, okay, we're going to have a go today. Which, we're safe. Somebody said there we're limping across the line to safety. We're not. I mean, we're not. We're absolutely not. We're 18 points clear safety or something. We're safe. So what he's doing is he's having a look at these lads. Irabunum is here for the long term. We only signed him, but Patterson, it's make or break time. He's been here 4 years. I think he's got a year left. He needs to play. He needs to play. And if he's not going to play, he needs to be shown the door. I thought he did all right today. One would assume Ashley Young will leave in the summer. And Patterson, if he's not going to be number one next year, is going to be number two. And he has to play, and he has to play well. Otherwise, he'd be gone as well. So I thought he did okay. And I'm glad to see Tim back because he's different to really anything else we've got, I think. And although I wouldn't play him every week against every opposition, there's certain games, especially at home, I think, there's certain games where you think you just see his name and it sort of lets you know we're going to have a go at these today. And I thought that's what we did in the second half. So, glad to see them come in. And I potentially hold their places because they didn't do any worse than... actually, Mikolenko was unfair. He played well against Liverpool, but he's injured. But, James Garner didn't really have a great game. So we're Burnham has every right now to say, by the way, I'm in next week. And that's what you want, a bit of competition.
I think Irabunum, he'll be gutted that he doesn't, because I always think Irabunum in the back two, he's not the best defensively, and I think that's why he struggled. But I think if you put Irabunum in Decore's position, I think he could be really dangerous in the 10, But unfortunately, we've got Njai that can play the 10 that's waiting to take that spot, Alcaraz that's waiting to take that spot, and obviously Decore sitting on that spot. So I honestly think because Irabunum's really tidy when he gets in that 10 position and doesn't release the ball fast, he likes to hold on to it and causes more threat. I think he'd be good in the 10, but unfortunately, he's just not going to get that position, is he? I'm going to have my first rant, and I'm really good friends with you two, so I'm game for you telling me that to shut up, you're chatting shit, right? But or disagree with me because I don't mind disagreements. That's what we do on this show. Sometimes we be honest with ourselves, and I am starting to get really, I'm getting angry now. I'm starting to get really peed off with corners. Get Danny Drinkwater gone back to freaking the Copites, mate, because these corners are really making me angry because when you play football, you know how important. Well, I used to take corners, so it makes me even more angry. And I'm telling you something. Everton have always been good at corners. Julian Lescott, Tim Cahill, the deliveries have been good. Leighton Baines, and I'm getting really angry because even free kicks, this high ball, drifted ball, back post to Tarkowski to cross him. So it's like basically you saying, I can't cross a ball, so I'm just going to hit it as high as I can to Tarkowski. You try and cross it with your head because I can't cross a ball. And what may hurt me the most today with corners is I watched Declan Rice put the most insane corners in. Declan Rice's corners are exactly how I ping them, like fast, and you have to defend them. Declan Rice's corners are, they let me hair stand up on the back of my neck because that's how I love to put corners in, because if you're a corner taker, you know. And our corner takers are pathetic. Drinkwater, piss off, makes you shit. Right, you've got to, and I know some people say we can't take corners. We'll train them then because they're professional footballers that get paid that much. You should be able to ping a corner in at speed, and our court, even some of our free kicks, back post, and it's back post miles away for Tarkowski, where he can't even head it back across goal. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? It just, and like I say, if you haven't got the theme that I've got for this, and I like, and this is what I'd prefer if I was a set piece coach right now. I'd get, do you know when we used to have Lescott? We used to do a train, didn't we? Do you know where all the players get in a line and then split up? So all the players hold each other in a train, like a line, And this is what I think we should do, because I'm watching us whip corners in, and O'Brien's frigging he's in the net. I don't even know why O'Brien's behind the keeper and then coming back in to try and sneak in. But I personally would like to O'Brien, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and Beto all to hold each other in a train. And then all of a sudden, when the corner's whipped in with speed, one go front post, one go back post, and two charge in the middle. And we've got such big giants in the box. I watched at one point in our own goal when we defended one. O'Brien and Branthwaite jumped and they nearly slit their heads on the crossbar. They're that big.
Yeah.
Did you see it? They're that big. They nearly smashed their heads on the crossbar. And that's me rant anyway. That's me rant for the game. Well, what's your thoughts on this? Because the corners are shocking.
I actually thought Arsenal's were obviously decent. When you look at them setting up, particularly the second half, they would have, where we would put Tarkowski, they had 4 players. And what was interesting for me, and good as well from our point of view, is we didn't change what we were doing. You know, we didn't go and mark a man-to-man or anything else. We knew our spots and what we were going to do. And then as the corner's about to come in, then they're going off, like you said, in different directions. Our problem, attacking-wise, is one, the ball isn't good enough. The ball in is not good enough or directed accurately to one person or one particular area. It's just sort of as far as
into
you
the
can
keeper's
get
hands. Into the keeper's hands all the time as well in the middle.
It was. And the thing is,
with no players around him.
Well, we're stood still. There's no movement on our corners. You don't really see, we certainly don't see very much of anyone moving into a space to be able to have that free header. You know, we're actually stood in attacking corners like we are in defensive corners, waiting for that ball to come. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
So easy.
And predictable. Like we said last night. So
even the free kick at the end, Ashley Young, that he drifted in, it was flat, straight. And some of the free kicks that we had on our left hand side, we should be curling it into the keeper. Where do you know where you hit a free kick where it's going to go a shot on target if someone doesn't get on the end of it? You curl it towards the keeper, and the keeper's going to have to punch it away, or one of your players just nods it in so easily. But we're choosing to go Tarkowski, like miles away, to head it back across. Really frustrating for me. And I know it's worked sometimes, but to do that every time, it's predictable. Rob, talk to me on this, because I know you play your footy as well. Does it frustrate you?
I just miss the back post corner. Like, I mean, Sean Dyche's first match against Arsenal, back post corner, Tark out. Like, what happened to the back post corner? We did it once, it worked, and then we never did it again. It's just beyond frustrating. Like, I mean, to me, some teams, you know, have things built into their DNA. Arsenal, you know, we're going to play lovely football. They're going to keep the ball. But everything, you know, when they get balls in the box, they're going to have units, or we're going to just bang, bang, bang. And we just don't do it. But you know, Moyes is here. What were we, 9 unbeaten in Villa Liverpool? So this is 12th game. You would imagine that's coming back. You know, he's going to get players in the summer, and we're going to see a lot more threat from set pieces next year because, and also the other thing is, I've said this before, Dwight McNeil is the only player in our squad who can deliver a free kick, which is like literally, if he's not fit, we might as well not take set pieces, which is embarrassing. So not only do we need to bring players in who can deliver a ball, we need to get the lads who we have, you know, hot summer training, set piece after set piece after set piece. We've got a striker who's a battering ram, a literal battering ram. The fella's knocking people out left, right, and centre, barging through people, and we're not putting the ball on his head. It's infuriating. But as I said, I have enough faith in Moyes to think that that's something he'll address.
Yeah, because we remember Moyes when we had him the first time round, like so good on set pieces, and he massively used them to his advantage. I think Moyes will get frustrated with how bad it's been, and I can see he did mention with Drinkwater. He says we'll trial him, we'll have him till the end of the season and see how it is. But I can't see it lasting because it's just, and I know it's not just on Drinkwater, but because the corner takers have got to be better. But then sometimes I look at what the plan is of the corner, like I can see Drinkwater has imposed these plans to knock it back post. It's routine. So I will chuck it on him as well. I will, and I'm not happy with the corners. They're just shot. And I think today, like I said, the biggest thing that frustrated me with the corners was the fact that Arsenal was so good at them, so good at them. And I know for a fact if Arsenal was crossing that ball into our players, we probably would have scored the Arsenal corners. Because, like Rob said, we've got Beto, who he'll headbutt someone. O'Brien headbutted someone already today, and then you got Tarkowski as well. With those giants, we should be doing better.
Declan Rice's corners remind me of Andy Hinchcliffe's corners in the 90s.
The Ferguson goal against Liverpool. That's exactly what I was thinking. The one that Brantway headed off the line. That's exactly what it reminded me of, Paul. You're spot on.
He had like 3 spots, Hinchcliffe. He had 3 spots to go for. He'd have the front one. So, for example, Matt Jackson's header semi-final against Spurs near post corner gets the header, goes in. Ferguson against United. Ferguson more so against. Yeah, it was against United back post. Calvert-Lewin, Liverpool. Bam. That's kind of area there. And then the other one would kind of be in between that penalty spot and 6-yard box. And because you've got so many people in the box, keeper can't really make enough out of it and come and stop it. So that was like his goal against Man U, Ferguson in the 90s as well. Just 1, 2, 3, one of those 3 spots. But at least the opposition are thinking about a 1 out of 3 scenario instead of a 1 out of 1 scenario. So it's certainly something to think about.
Yeah.
I loved. There's a player was it Pedersen for Blackburn that used to be good at them.
Martin Gamst.
Pedersen was he was really good at corners. He's like Pedersen was like me because I'd love to, like Rob said. I think when you take a corner, you put it on the penalty spot, but you put that much whip in it, it can hit the back post and go in. And that's what Pedersen used to. You've got to try and score a corner, I think, and really put it on the keeper. And I think the player's got to be running in to get it before the keeper gets it. But we wasn't even running in on the goalkeeper today. Absolutely unchallenged. He comes out and he collects it, and you think, my days, Baines was good as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the corner. That is the corner run. Now, I said to my missus, like, Jack Harrison was shocking, but he did get us the penalty. Right, so does that mean we shouldn't slate him? I mean, because he really does. He does my head in. Jack Harrison does. He just runs into players all the time. Like, really does just. And what frustrates me the most is he really does work his arse off. I can see him get back and give everything to get back, and he really does work his arse. I couldn't ask for a bigger graft horse than Jack Harrison. But then when the ball was in his feet, I couldn't ask for someone that frustrates me so much. And he got me the penalty, which means I can't moan about him too much. But Jack Harrison, we've got to talk about him, haven't we?
You know what? If you give him any credit, like he actually could have gone down far earlier, and he made sure he got into that penalty box. I mean, he stayed on his feet as long as possible. And once he got into the box, he went down. Look, Harrison is divisive because he's a hangover of the Sean Dyche era. Like, he is, when Sean Dyche buys WWE 2K25 and creates a wrestler, he creates Jack Harrison. That's what he makes, you know what I mean? And he runs all day, which is fantastic, but there's no end product. 1 goal this season. I would dare to say less than 3 assists, if he even has 3 assists. And it's probably a fair point to say that if Lindstrom was fit, that Lindstrom would have played today. But, he's not. And you have to make do with what you have. And he got us a penalty, which in the end got us a point. So today is the day that I will lay off Jack Harrison, except for his haircut. His haircut's shocking, by the way. You got this little needs to sort that out.
Bit of bun.
Yeah, it's not good. I had something similar years ago, and I look back at pictures now and I think, what were you doing?
I did that as well.
Well, you could do a bit of that. You could do a bit of that.
You know what? You're not going to believe me when I say this. I literally shaved 2 weeks ago for my nephew's christening, like 2 weeks ago, and it's like I give up. It's not worth shaving, Paul, because you'd be up there. You ever see the Santa Claus movie? He shaves in the mirror, and he looks back, and it's back. That's what goes on here. So
you might actually watch out for Christmas because you might be in line to be the next Santa. You might actually be the guy on the Santa Claus movie.
Well, when
but
this baby turns me hair grey, there might be a chance.
Babies like grabbing your beard and stuff like that, so the baby will enjoy it at least. And you go from one extreme to the other because you've got you've gone from
we don't want to talk about Jack Harrison. We're talking about babies.
We're talking about babies. We've changed the topic, but you've gone from Phil Mitchell to different hairstyle. You had complete shaven head.
I can mix it up. Next time you see me, I'm gonna have like a Peter Wright haircut or something. I'm gonna
like it. To be fair, I do like it.
Maybe a tricolor.
You come in with a lot of style. I've got to say, I do like the hairstyle, all flick back and all that. But we spoke about Jack Harrison and we completely went off it. Paul, put us back on something.
Well, do you think it was a penalty?
I was amazed they didn't try to give it actually when the initial contact took place. I thought they were going to give us a free kick here.
Well, knowing what the official lineup was today, and then you have a little look at VAR.
Stuart Atwell's the one that jumps out.
I just thought there'd be no chance we're going to get that penalty. So I was shocked.
Yeah,
I was shocked. But maybe it's because we were playing Arsenal.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll be honest. I think it was a penalty, but I think it could have easily have not been given because he didn't really put a lot of contact on the player. I think he just kind of slipped down and didn't really want to leave much on the player, but he made contact. So it was one of them where you've seen him not given. Do you know what I mean? He just could have said, I just put my body at the side of him just to be there. But it wasn't brutal. It wasn't a clip of the legs. It didn't massively change Jack Harrison's direction. So I could see why we was lucky. I was happy to get it because it could have easily gone against us. We know that could have gone against us. But you talk about referees. There was one, I don't know if you remember it. Garner Gay made the most perfect tackle. And he gave it as a free kick on Garner Gay where he got the ball. Do you know where he got round the player? Garner Gay did, and he got the ball.
What was the thing at full time? At full time, he blew the full time whistle, and then went back and gave a free kick, and then blew the whistle. What was this referee doing?
I've saved a lot of sort of comments and stuff about the full time thing. Well, Trossard, the ball was coming down for Tarkowski, wasn't it? And Trossard sticks his foot in the air towards Tarkowski. He didn't make contact, but he obviously put him off, or it was, ungentlemanly conduct or whatever. And he, instead of blowing for a free kick, he blew for full time. And then realised he was 20 seconds early or something.
Because that was the funny thing, was somebody ran over to him and he showed him his watch, and then he went, "Oh shit, there's actually 20 seconds left." He had to give a free kick. I mean,
brilliant.
The officials in this country.
Bizarre. It was bizarre, but it also doesn't, like Righty said there, it didn't surprise him that had happened. I wonder which assistant was in his ear saying, Darren, we haven't finished yet, Darren.
Just like Jesus.
It's just so funny because you didn't even have a clue what was going on, did you? I thought he blew full time. I did, but then I did think, why are you blowing full time when we've got a free kick? And then I don't know why the Arsenal players was going mad, because I don't know whether they was going mad because they didn't think it was a free kick or because they wanted the full time, because it was obvious it was a free kick.
Understand. It looked like one of the Arsenal players was saying there was still time left, and then the ref showed him his watch, and I went, "Oh shit!"
What a bizarre end to the game. I mean, the penalty. We all know Iliman is the man now, don't we, to take penalties? He took the last one. I knew it was going to be.
5 from 5, 5 from 5, and they're all pretty tidy finishes. Yeah, so keep him on until he misses one, I say.
Coolest guy in the ground, money. Coolest guy in the ground.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of class.
Get him into the game more, wasn't you? I thought we could. I would like to have got him on the ball more, running, but we just couldn't get him in the right positions today, could we? He's coming back, but I would like to have just got him in more dangerous. I would love to see him in the 10, to be fair, the more I think about it, because sometimes wide, it's hard for him to get to the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Moyes.
Well, Decore's the thing, isn't he? He's the. We've had it before with other managers. There's a player that the fans appreciate the effort, but know that they're not as good as some other players we've got, and because they work hard and do a load of the defensive work, they don't get dropped. However, when he's got the ball, I mean, there was a second half, there was a perfect moment that summed it up, because we broke from the halfway line and it was like, oh, we've got a chance. I think it was Decore and Beto against maybe two of their defenders. And there was like a, hey, but then everyone realised Decore had it. So everyone went, oh. It was just like in a chorus. And we did. We ballsed it and we gave it up within 5 seconds of that situation. So, yeah, someone like Alcaraz or Njai or anybody else who's got more, like a Rubenham, he's better on the ball than Decore is, but I still think he can put in a tackle like him. No one runs around like Beto or Decore. That's the reason that they're still in.
I mean, I still think long term, once McNeil gets back, I still think Enjoy moves central. I just think he's out wide now because there's no other wingers. Let's say hello to the people.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing? You all right?
It's chocolate.
It's chocolate, right? Go on and clean yourself up.
Wow.
I mean, YouTube.
Yes, get the chocolate in. He's
Unbelievable.
not even here.
Yeah, I do think once McNeil is back, Enjoy shifts, but look, it's square pegs, round holes. But you can see he's a player. He's not a winger, and he's potentially still our best winger. So, yeah, very exciting if we do get him in number 10, because there was only one. I think it was like around the 40th minute mark, maybe close to the half time, where he kind of got the ball. The left winger and the left back were kind of up towards the corner flag, and they cut it inside to Enjoy, and he just sort of turned and he hit one. He was obviously aiming for the far right corner, and it went over the bar. But you were just thinking, if he could do that 3 or 4 times a game, one of those, even if it doesn't go in, the keeper parries it, something happens. He's quite isolated at times out wide, and obviously he got cramped too. So you hope that there's no hangover from the cramp, and it's just working his way back to fitness, please.
That's exactly what. That's it. I'm glad you recapped on that, because that's exactly what I had in my head. That's what frustrated me about him not playing in the 10, is because I think on the left wing, you can't get him into that position where he did what he did through the middle and just hit it over the bar. And I think when he's in the 10, a lot of players know. Even Garner Gay works with him well, I think, because they're both like in same international teams and stuff. They know each other well. I think they're good link up, to be fair. Even Irabunin with them. I think when you start getting players that you can put the ball into under pressure and they don't lose it and they can pass it back to you, you get your players passing it more. And I think Irabunin, he can do that. He can hold the ball under pressure and pass the ball under pressure. And Jai he can do that. And Garner Gay, he's incredible at the minute. Garner Gay, his passing's a lot better. I know he's part of the goal, but Garner Gay's been insane.
Benjamin Button, the fella is aging backwards. He's getting better. He's getting insane. Better.
He was. I mean, when I come off the match reaction in the derby, I felt gutted that I didn't give Mikalenko and Garner Gay massive praise, because I think the result taken away how good Mikalenko and Garner Gay was. Because I come out of the show and I thought to myself, oh my God, Garner Gay was insane that derby.
No, well, I agree.
Kante. I keep calling him Kante. He's literally like Kante's turnovers and his passing and his power runs and his pressing, and he's playing like a PSG player at Everton. I'm telling you, and he's insane. He's unreal. He is unreal.
No, I've
got to give him a contract.
It's very difficult to brag about a left back who didn't give the best player in the league a kick when you've been beaten,
But Salah was in his pocket all game, wasn't he?
But he has been for a few. He has been for a few. Like even the Goodison derby, I think Salah scored and assisted and did nothing else. Was there a 0-0 last year? Or maybe it was the game we lost 2-0, actually. Didn't they get a penalty on like the 75th minute or something? And again, Salah hadn't got a kick and he somehow scores. And
I think we drew, yeah. Drew 0-0 away last season, didn't we, I think?
Mikalenko has that guy's number, but it's hard to brag about it when you lose games or when the fella comes off the park and he scored and assisted. But Mikalenko was brilliant, and it's a difficult one whether he was a loss today, because I was sort of happy to see. Like I said this about Patterson, I want to see Patterson playing now, even if it's a case of somebody just said Ipswich are winning, which I still don't think. I still think we're 11 or 12 points ahead of them. But I'd play Patterson every week now. I'd play him every week to the end of the season because you know what you've got with the other lads. And if Mikalenko's carrying a knock, there's no point having him in, having him out, having him in, having him out. Just let him rest up. And I'd play Patterson every week and just see what you have there. And if at the end of the year you think you have nothing, move him on. Or if you think there's something to build on, let's get him back in.
You make a good point. They are still playing for the contracts. Moy said that, so I think a few people, when we're mathematically safe, I think they are going to take a look at them, the freaking group, and say, what have we got? Because they do want a massive rebuild. Now, I'm just going to chuck this on because we love you subscribers. The channel wouldn't be here without you. And Emma went to the game today. Shout out to you. And she put, still emotional now. I'm home. Glad you got home safe. Got to meet Big Nov outside today. It was nice. It was the last game that she's going to go to at Goodison Park. And she's been to a few, to be fair. She's got getting stuck in to the last games at Goodison Park. And that was the last one. And she said it was emotional. And Paul's was at the derby that we drew. I know we put videos up and did a good vlog of Paul at the derby. That was quite emotional. A lot of people like that. Emma got hers today. And today was a special one because we did a tribute to to Kevin Campbell. Sorry,
Super Kev, Kev.
And I thought our tribute was good, but oh my god, the tribute today at Goodison Park was special, wasn't it? At the 9th minute with walking it across and stuff. It was a real special moment. So I think for your last game member to be part of the Super Kevin Campbell tribute as well probably would have made it even more special. I was gutted I wasn't there, to be fair, because I love singing Super Kev. But well done to the 78s for doing that, because that was they are smashing it, ain't they? I mean, sometimes like in life, you get stuff and you just think, you just take it, but you've got to give it a shout out as well, because they don't have to do that, and they are smashing it, and they're putting the time into it. Working people putting the time into it on the side, don't get paid for it, and they are smashing the tributes.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone who volunteers sort of goes to the ground night before and sorts out all the flags and all that sort of stuff, and they've done that. It's been brilliant, and I love the flags as well. There's tons of them, but it's brilliant. And when you sort of pick out all the little ones, you get ex-players who've got their own flag and stuff like that.
Have you seen that little kid that does? There's a little kid that's going to be he's going to be a like YouTuber or something because he speaks really well, and he does the flags with them, and he advertises the flags the little lad does. And some of the flags are the old ones, ain't they? Some of them are the original old flags of back in the day, and he takes you inside and shows them you. And they are doing well. They're doing some good vlogs on it as well. And just want to give Emma a shout out, and the 78s a shout out, because they are smashing it. We are coming to super Kev, man. What a player. We are coming to the end. I think I might be getting the Man City gaming, Might be.
Talk to me about
just there and back on the day.
My game
I might have a ticket for Man City.
My last ever visit has been cancelled, so I'm sort of very upset about that.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, but I was going with the Irish Toffees had like a family day where you do a boat trip to Holyhead and then get a coach, and it's one to bring the kids to, and it was for the Leicester game, and that was my my farewell plus first time I'd have brought the little fella, but it coincides with the birth of baby number 3, so
kids, bloody kids.
The game has been planned, but you know what? I've plenty of good memories. As many people know, I was actually born in Liverpool, and I lived there till I was 13, and we used to go week after week when you could just rock up and buy a ticket at the gate at the time. And I'll be sad to see it go. I won't get there again now before it leaves, but that Southampton game will be an emotional one for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, you feel it no matter what. A lot of people are trying to get that last one in, but you've got all your memories anyway, haven't you? That's the thing, and you're going to feel it on that last one. We'll all be, whether we're there or whether we're watching it on TV, we're just going to be emotional anyway, because at the end of the day, even if you watch it on TV, you know all your memories that you've had at Goodison Park. You know all the games you've been to. You know it's done.
Yeah.
You know that's not going to be our stadium anymore. So it is going to be a sad time, but you've got to move along with times. But it's an historic stadium, and you won't get anything like it ever again. I mean, we are coming to an end now. Do you think it will go to the ladies, the stadium?
Look, I mean, it's sort of a question I don't want to answer because whatever you say, you're sort of disrespecting the women's side of it, or and that's not my intention. I'm not sure there's any point unless they put a lot of money into helping grow the game, and the whole league itself needs a lot of financial backing before. I mean, what are we going to do? Put them at Goodison Park and have 600 people there? I hope it works, and I hope it becomes a revenue thing. My fear is, though, at the numbers we're talking about now, is that it'll end up costing us money to host games at Goodison. And I think that's maybe a fear. Like, you're going to have to put ticket prices up and up and up to start making any money. And are people going to pay it? Like, at the moment, I think you can go to Walton Park and bring a kid with you and get him for a fiver to watch the women's team. I'm not sure. I think I'd like to maybe see a hybrid where it was potentially turned into some sort of a museum. Have the odd game there, maybe have under 21 games there, under 18 games there, whatever. But I'd like to see it sort of, memorized in some sort. I don't want to knock down or turn into a park.
Chloe showed me something. She showed me an article where they said there was Liverpool wanted it for a museum thing or something like that.
I wouldn't do that.
God.
I mean, that's the last thing I'd do.
That was taking a piss. Yeah.
What I've
I think that was
learned
a
is
native kind of thing. That was.
What I've learned is pay the rent. Pay the rent. Do not give them anything.
Yeah, don't be doing that. I'd rather don't be doing that. But it's a business. I do get it. It's a business, and we can't lose any money on it. We've got to be clever business wise now on whatever we do, and if we've just got to do the right thing financially. For me personally, if the ladies are in it, then fair enough, and it's good. I think if it works for them, it's perfect. If they can get it right for them, but if it's too big and they're not going to fill it, and it doesn't work out, and it, like you say, it costs Everton a little bit. Everton can't be doing anything bad financially at all, or sentimental, anything. They can't be nice and lose money. We have to make money on every single area now. We could have been in the Championship and probably gone into liquidation. So I just want us to do the most sensible thing with it. Personally, I think when Goodison Park's gone, I think it's got to be gone, hasn't it? And then we move on to you can't hold on to it, can you? That's the thing. I think when it's gone, it's finished. And
I sort of feel for the surrounding areas, the Winslow and the Walk In and all those places. I feel for those businesses, because without Goodison, there's no real reason to go back there. So, maybe they could keep the tours up. Maybe they could do something where they could maybe turn it into some sort of museum. I'm not sure, but I sort of feel the same as Dan. Once it's gone, it's kind of gone.
We're all saying bye, and then
we need to really put all of our energy into this new place and make that our fortress.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different suggestions that have been. I'm with you, Rob. I don't think our women's team is going to fill a 40,000 stadium. The women's game may well continue to grow, but we would end up paying a lot for that transition over
the electricity bills alone, Paul.
Exactly.
What are you going to have to charge ticket wise to make it worthwhile doing?
The thing I heard some talk about downsizing it and stuff like that. I think you could have the under 21s and 18s playing there, but generally they tend to play at Finch Farm a lot of the games. You're thinking, out of all the games you play in the season, half of them are away.
Exactly.
You're not going to have enough games over a season to be able to.
The staff, you have to hire staff. You've got to hire people to work there. That's any way I weigh it up, it looks like it's a money loser. Which is a shame.
Yeah, it is a bit. And the thing, I mean, I don't know if you heard about Chelsea basically selling the women's team to their parent company, and
for like 40 million quid or something, wasn't it? It was
more. I think it was. Yeah, it was maybe worth that, and then they doubled it, and then a bit more.
Put them in profit. Apparently, there was in profit after doing that. All of a sudden,
absolutely.
Didn't they sell the hotel to themselves? They sold the hotel to themselves as well.
Maybe
we could sell Goodison to ourselves.
We are
You
so
know?
stupid. We literally lick the Premier League's arse and let them spank us for licking their arse, and then you get other clubs that just make their own rules and get away with it. It's mad.
Yeah.
We should be doing the same
There's,
thing. If there's any loopholes, take advantage.
There is a few things. Emma's right. Hot Walk 2.
Hot Walk 2, yeah.
Is moving to Bramley-Moore, so I'd imagine they'll have both of those. Hey
I
Doyle, good to
assume
see
the same with the Megastar then, Paul. The Megastar will surely move. We
you.
always have
You
Everton
would
too. I mean, I assume they
you'd
do
think
want to
so.
beside. There's no
It'd
point having a
be silly
Megastar.
to have.
Yeah.
It'd be silly not to have something at the ground.
Well, especially
Surely.
for the tourist side of things. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
coming over to watch a match and the Megastar is connected to the stadium, that makes perfect sense. I mean, why would you have one in Liverpool,
Yeah.
one and then another one at an old stadium, and then potentially a third one? I mean, you think
I
they'd
don't-
both go, wouldn't you? Really?
Well, I don't know whether it was in the original plans. It's something I'm not too
Interesting.
sure of. If anyone knows,
'Cause
let us
I'm
know.
one of these.
I'm not
Whenever I go,
I'm not
I
the
go,
brightest spark with all this stuff, but I personally think once we move into that area and make it our own, more stuff will become ours around the area. Do you know what I mean? When the area becomes Everton, you'll slowly get more different things that think, oh, this is Everton's area, and it will start to become. We'll get more. Probably even the pubs
and
might
that's
move
what
over
we need
there
to
as
do.
well.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's why we need a Megastar, and we need the Dixie Dean statue, and we need.
Yeah,
We've got to take over that area. That's got to be ours. And
that's got to
unfortunately,
be our area, and I think it will grow.
Might just mean leaving
I think
Goodison behind.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think once you're in there, it will grow. Some places, buildings might stand the ground and think, no, it's not yours. But I think once we're there and we own the area, it's going to become more ours.
Well,
And the
there
freaking group
is
will start to line everything up around it.
Yeah, there's a few shouts about the Freakins inquiring about Nelson docking it, the one next door. So for whatever reason, you think, I mean, it'd be awesome. The number of stuff that they could do around there could just revitalise the whole place. To be honest,
It's sort of amazing.
I mean, it's not
wasn't
been busy for
decades.
decades and decades. Really,
It's like, do you know what though? I think it's hard because you get two different thoughts sometimes. You don't have one thought. And Lula says that, yeah, but Goodison is the first purpose-built footy ground. It should be preserved. And when we've had all the people on from other football teams on the pre-matches, they've said Goodison's just so historic. And I do think you need to keep those old. Do you know, like the old school pubs? Like now, the old school pubs are becoming rare. Do you know your old school ones that you play darts and pool in, and they're proper old school? You can't beat them. Like you can't beat them. You can't make them. And I think it's you don't want everything new. This new technology. Sometimes you want to go to that old school pub that you went to when you was younger. That hasn't changed the freaking patterns on the furniture and stuff like that. So I do get it. Like it'd be nice to keep it as a museum thing because there's not many stadiums like it now. Don't want everything this new style, new technology because the old school, it's like the old school films, isn't it? The old school films, you can't beat the backgrounds on the old school films with like your Karate Kids. It's so basic, but it's so good. And I do like the old school stuff. So I don't want to get rid of all the old school stuff because you look back and you think, oh, that was boss.
Well, I think as a clan, as a breed, we're pretty nostalgic for Everton fans because if you know your history, innit? So it is important. What I hope doesn't happen though is that, I mean, the club have got to. You'd imagine the club have got to make some sort of statement about the seats and all that sort of stuff because otherwise we'll never see again. You wouldn't even get it at a bloody tool convention. The number of screwdrivers that'll come in during that last.
That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it. So I hope the club actually are proactive in that and address that situation and be honest about it and such like.
I mean, if they've any
it could be a bit awful at the end, couldn't it?
If they've any talking about them, they just sell them. Just sell the seat. £20 a head. Take your seat with you.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly.
I mean? Just sell them.
Yeah, they've got to be ready. They've got to be clever.
Bricks and all the other stuff you can buy. Just let people take their seat. And people, I don't want to see the game move to a Monday night and then the final images are seats getting ripped out. Just let people take their seat, man. Let them take their seat. Club
needs to be proactive on that, and like you said, Salom, like generally say, This to people that want to buy the seat. This is going to be it. The seats you'll be brought and they'll be sent to your address, just basically like that, all just pre-ordered. They'll be sent, so you don't need to do nothing. We'll take care of that, and then just get the builders in after to send all the seats. And then the fans deserve that.
They would sell them, and they'd make a right few quid because, I mean, imagine even here. Like, I mean, I've just put a log cabin out the back garden. Imagine having a seat from Goodison Park out there. Anytime you brought anybody Oregon. That blue seat there, that's
that
probably,
would be good.
I mean, Jesus Christ, it's something you can't put a price on some of these things, you know what I mean? It would be unbelievable.
This is why Everton need to take on the Toffee Bluecast and take in our thoughts today, because it's not a bad idea. It sounds good. It would be good, wouldn't it? Getting those little wooden chairs in your house and say, a little sitting Goodison Park to my daughter at home. Can't beat it. Love it.
I am looking for a high chair, actually.
If you're listening.
Could I turn one into a high chair?
But don't you get anything on my Everton chair. Keep that spaghetti on the table.
Maybe a Carling tap or a Chang beer tap just to take
that'd be good.
Season tickets probably should get them free, and if not, they should just get like a massive discount where it's basically free. You could understand if the club still wanted to make a bit of money, but I get it.
We all buy pre-season friendlies every year in packs of 3 that never work. I'm sure we'd all pay £20 for a seat.
Yeah,
sure
exactly. Yeah. Well, of course we would to remember Goodison Park. Right, that is the end of the show, people. We've had a crack. I've had Rob on. No, we love having you on, Rob. To be fair, me and
Thanks,
Paul.
lads. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Yeah, I'm a little bit excited.
Hopefully, it won't be so long between appearances next time. This was just a great day. It lined up well, so delighted to jump on with you and have a chat.
Whenever there's no pressure, and whenever you can get on. We'll have you on. That is the end of the show. But do you know what? I had bits to moan about the game, but like I said, it's one of them because it's Arsenal, second in the league. We was losing 1-0. We showed resilience where we'd probably go normally against Arsenal when we go 1-0 down. It could be 5-0. But no, we are dogs of war now. We don't give up. We fight with all of our might, and we come back and get 1-1. Arsenal needed to beat us, and they couldn't. Well, we was unbeaten in 9 before the derby. We lost the derby by an offside goal. They cheated, by the way. And then we come back today and we don't lose against Arsenal. So it's not all that bad. We're showing something to build on. Iliman and Jai gets the goal as well, people. I've still got that video of Super Kev. I think after just playing Arsenal, it's appropriate. So I'll put that video up and I'll put the music on. And have a boss one, everyone. Everton, like Rob said, if we don't lose, it doesn't really ruin your weekend, does it? And Grand National now, everyone. So hopefully you win it.
Yeah, please send me any tips to Aki89.
I've got the winner, yeah. I have got the winner, so hopefully it wins. Let's see. But I'm not going to promote gambling. I'll tell you on the side. See you later, everyone. Have a boss one.
Take care. Bye-bye.